What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, Sound and Percussion. For all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. Episode 128. Oh!
Oh,
Can
is that a milestone?
you hear the sound effects?
Oh no!
Oh my god!
Those sound effects.
Oh, there's sound effects. It's so
Oh,
awkward.
right. I need to figure out how to make me hear them then.
Oh, that's so awkward. I thought you could hear him.
Sorry. Nope.
So I was recording. It's going to be me reacting, and you just
Me
like,
like. Ooh.
yeah, because there's like. I had cheering. I don't know how to make you hear it. We're using a new program. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Ready? Episode 128.
I heard it this time.
Yes. Oh, yes. All right. So the other one, I was on preview, so that's why that's why Lawson's not reacting, because I had to click live so that everyone can hear
it. Which means probably no one heard the first one if the first one was previewed.
Oh, that's awkward.
Even better. That's very on brand for us, I think.
How good.
Mm-hmm.
But we have a new program that we're recording in, so it's a little bit different. It's you cannot see our backgrounds currently. Hopefully we fix them in post for the VOD listeners. But another thing that is absolutely taking off. Guess what film is going to have airborne and waterborne battle for the ages?
What did you say? Airborne and waterborne battle?
What's going to be fighting
Avatar?
in the air? Yeah, it is. They reckon it's going to be absolutely spectacular.
I don't give a shit. Like, oh my god, the last one was so garbage. I've heard no one say they liked it.
It might be alright. But guess who is back in action? Ready?
Cameron Diaz.
No, that's drum joke. I was looking for this one. He is
Oh my god.
gone the other. Then Josh Hartnett is coming back, and he is in a brand new film called Fight or Flight. It looks like a bullet train-esque film, but it is actually based on a plane. He's wielding a chainsaw. He's like a mercenary. He gets put on the plane, and he has to like save this person from other trained assassins on the plane. Remember how that was pretty much the plot of Bullet Train?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So the trailer actually looks really fun. I've got a reaction video coming out because I recorded it this morning. It actually looks pretty fun.
Okay.
I was actually quite surprised about Josh Hartnett coming back from nowhere.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
They're also saying that this might finally be the last Ethan Hunt film for the Mission Impossible. So they reckon Tom Cruise might actually not reprise his role again.
All right.
I mean,
okay. Yeah. I've not watched many.
Okay.
Maybe one, maybe two.
I do like the Mission Impossible. It's just dumb fun.
Not my brand.
Nope. The Jurassic World Rebirth trailer is out now as well. It has Scarlett Johansson. She is looking real good in the film. The film's looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, again, I don't give a shit.
Okay. Fair. And then,
you know me though.
Well, hopefully one that you are a little bit more excited for, because they are heroes in our loved game that we are playing every single minute that we possibly can, is Marvel Rivals. But it is the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer is out now, and it's looking good. It is looking good. Vanessa Kirby and Pascal are looking real good as Storm and Reed Richards. The Thing actually looks alright.
I've heard critique that people like it looks worse than the one from mid-2000s, but I don't know.
I don't know. I thought he looked fine. I'm a little bit concerned. Like, I thought he was going to be bigger, but then it's like in the comics and everything, when he wears his hat and his coat and stuff, he doesn't look that like massive compared to everyone else.
Yeah, then to blend in. Which when we watched the first one, I'm like, how did this fucking dude blending in?
Yeah, when he was like 9 foot or whatever.
Yeah, he's enormous.
Yeah, so
even bodybuilders don't look that big.
Like I'm keen for it. It actually looks better. Like, I don't think it can be worse than the other Fantastic Fours.
I mean, couldn't say that too loudly.
Couldn't be worse. It could not be worse.
I don't know. Yeah, Silver Surfer was a whole new brand of garbage. It was impressive. Yeah.
Another film that we actually watched. This is the first Megan 2.0. So Megan with a 3
Yep.
has a 2.0 trailer that is out now. It's actually more of a teaser than a trailer, but it has a AI killer dancing. So it looks.
I don't understand the obsession with Megan with a 3 dancing. Like that was such an awkward, cringe, laughing moment,
Yeah, I don't know.
and yet that's like seems to be the image that has taken off with that whole movie.
I don't know. I don't know why people are like, yo, this is it. This is the new like. I didn't even think it was that good. I didn't
No.
think it did anything like spectacularly well.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No,
I may need to rewatch it because people obviously love it, and I don't understand why.
don't know. Maybe it's like, I don't know, child killers that are like, oh my god, it's creepy. Like the
Like Chucky.
the children ghosts in like Nightmare on Elm Street. They terrified me when they
Sure.
were singing the
Yeah,
song.
yeah.
But like this didn't do anything. Like Chucky scared me as a kid. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
hate it.
same.
Especially
But most movies scared me as a kid.
even like Goosebumps, the Night of the Living Dummy. I hated that thing. I hated it so much.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And another one that's out now, and I know you have a what are they called? What's the piercing? Septum. Piercing.
Yep.
Yeah, it is Final Destination Bloodlines trailer is out now. It actually looks like a really fun deaths that are going to be coming.
Yeah, looks great.
I'm keen for it. I think.
Yeah, absolutely right.
I enjoyed the first 3. I don't remember seeing 4 or 5, but
I've watched them all. I've seen 4 or 5, maybe once or twice, but I have watched them all. Like I wrote in your YouTube comments, they're such a guilty pleasure, dumb, turn your brain off, sit back and have a laugh sort of movie. But I love them for it. They're some like I really enjoy them. Really, really enjoy them.
Right, I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I'm keen. I honestly didn't know the other one was coming out until your trailer reaction dropped. So that was a nice little surprise. But yeah, I'm keen. I want it as long as it's fun and as long as it's just dumb violence and people dying in dumb creative ways like the trailer promises, then I'm happy. That's all I want from a destination movie. Give me that.
Yeah. And the last bit of little bit of movie news. You know Jake Gyllenhaal.
Do I know Jake Gyllenhaal? Yes, I know Jake Gyllenhaal.
Not personally, but like you know.
Yeah, I know of the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just putting that
We're
out there.
not friends, but
Just in case you're expecting a cameo on the show, he's not coming on.
Uh-huh.
He's in talk with another guy that we heavily critique his films. It is M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, really?
They're going to be doing a Nicholas Sparks adaptation of a supernatural romantic thriller. I don't think this could go wrong. I don't think any of this.
I think this could go right. Jake Gyllenhaal has made garbage the last few years.
Oh, I think he did all right as Mysterio in the Spider-Man. No, it's not Homecoming. It is the Far From Home.
The other one.
The other one, the middle one. Like, he did a reasonable job in that. I really liked him in Jarhead. I think he did an awesome job in that.
And last time ago. Donnie Darko, incredible. But have you seen Velvet Chainsaw? That movie's fucking awful.
What's the one with him and Tobey Maguire? And they, like, there's so many scenes of them just, like, going off at each other, and it's, like, real emotional and passionate.
Spider-Man.
If not that one.
Brothers? Is it just called Brothers?
It could be. I haven't seen it for a very long time.
Yeah, 2009. Yeah, Brothers.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
I haven't seen that.
It's worth a watch.
That sort of adds to my point, though. Like, the movies you can reference that he's good in, or that he is a good main character, are not recent. But look, I haven't seen. I know there's a new one out, Presumed Innocent.
Okay.
Not new, but came out like last year. That I haven't heard terrible things about, but I don't know. I can't get over how much Velvet Buzzsaw, not Velvet Chainsaw. Velvet Buzzsaw was the most self-indulgent piece of shit. It was not good, and he was awful in it.
Right.
So,
okay, interesting. We'll have to give it a look, I reckon.
Yeah. Hey, M. Night. Anything M. Night makes, I'll watch.
Oh, M. Night.
He's such a strange man with a strange career.
He's kind of like all these good films are early on, and he can't remember any of his newer stuff.
Then Trap was good. like I would not consider that a bad movie.
No, it still didn't live up to like what Sixth Sense or anything like that.
No, I know.
Like you come out the blocks pretty hard.
I want to rewatch Signs and The Village. So I think over the years I've had my brain sort of tarnished by reviewers and critics sort of saying how bad they are. So I want to rewatch them in my
See,
own opinion again.
I didn't mind Signs until it was like water, like it was a bit dumb, but like
Yeah.
still the whole build up and the suspense and stuff that was really good. I thought they did a really good job until the water part, but whatever. Like I forgave the film, like it wrapped up reasonably well. And then the village annoyed me because they built up this like sick like monsters and stuff, and then it was just like, oh no, they're just
It's a family. It's the villagers doing it. Oh,
Yeah.
they're actually people. What are they called? Fucking Amish. They're not olden times. But I think because of all that stuff that tried to be clever and ended up just coming across as dumb, it made me dislike the themes of the movie. But I want to rewatch it because I watched this YouTuber a while ago do like a review of every single one of his movies, like a 3 hour long video.
Mm.
And they're like, if you separate that stuff, the themes in it are really good.
Okay.
And it's still a really good movie with some really good tension and whatever. So I want to watch it with fresh eyes.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, let's jump in to our first one off the ranks, which is
Fucking hell. I hate it. What is it?
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it is.
Its original title is Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which
Yep.
has now been renamed to Spider-Man Freshman Year. So,
But I don't know if it is because on Disney, I think it's.
it's still Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I don't know where. Whatever.
I
I
don't
don't know why. I don't know why both. Because on IMDb, it's like you said. It's what is it? Homecoming. Freshman year. Homecoming.
So
Same thing.
I don't know why, but it's a weird take. I was
Yeah.
also like, is this trying to tell an adaptation from the comic books? Like, I was wondering if it was meant to be telling the rendition of which one was it? Brand New Day, where they rebooted the series and then apparently it like rejuvenated Spider-Man stuff in the comics. So
Sure.
I've done a little bit of reading on. I've read some of them because I used to have Marvel Unlimited, so I used to read a number of the comics. So I read all the Civil War and stuff.
Okay.
They seem to have tied this in to the current MCU timeline because they've, in the first 3 episodes, I think it's the end of 2 and episode 3, they make reference to all the Civil War stuff. And
Yes, they do.
Where it gets built in. So
Yep.
I do believe they are trying to tie this into like the Spider-Man origin to tie into the current MCU, because the other Spider-Man is that stupid licensing issue where Sony own the rights to Spider-Man, but they are trying to tie that Spider-Man into the current MCU. But
Yep.
yeah,
It's almost like this feels like a part of the Spider-Verse universe in a way. Like, yeah, this is just another Spider-Man. I don't really know.
yeah, I don't know. I saw it as them trying to control the narrative for this Spider-Man coming into the MCU, for the MCU.
For what's the new fucking guy's name?
What's the
kid who plays Spider-Man in the new movies?
Tom Holland?
Tom Holland. Are they trying to make this Tom Holland?
I believe so. I believe
Okay.
that's what I am seeing it as. I think we're gonna see.
But can it be? Because it's got like different characters and different like he doesn't have what's her name? Pearl? No, not Pearl. What's the friend girl's name?
Yeah, he doesn't have MJ or Gwen. We haven't seen them at all in this yet, so I don't know. Maybe because it's freshman year. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure where they're tying this in, but it's fine.
Anyway,
This is so the animated series follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU. So there you go. With a journey unlike we've ever seen and the style that celebrates the character's early comic book roots. So it's a bit of a blend, I believe. And I guess they do depict that a little bit.
it still doesn't make canonical sense.
No, but I don't know. Maybe as they progress it a little bit further, that might. I don't know. Because they don't have the origin Spider-Man stuff in this, I guess they can sort of do what they want. Because they had Doctor Strange drop in like
Yeah.
early, and he was the reason that Spider-Man gets bit in
Do
this
they ever
telling of it.
explain in the Tom Holland one how he gets bitten?
Ooh, I believe they do. I would have to rewatch that one because those Spider-Man films I've actually seen the least. I think I've seen them once or twice each.
Mm.
Where the other, like obviously Sam Raimi Spider-Mans I've seen countless
Oh,
times.
ditto.
The Andrew Garfield ones, the Amazing Spider-Man, I've seen probably a handful of times, and then the other ones, not really.
Yeah, I watched the first one and I remember how it happened, but I sort of give a shit. I don't pay attention.
Yeah, but this obviously they're trying to control the narrative on this one, so they are trying to make this in control of the MCU for Spider-Man. We get an introduce in the first episode to Doctor Strange. He's jumping timelines and portals and stuff. He comes in, he's fighting a big monster. The monster runs rampage, and then a spider drops down in the portal, and then Peter gets bit, and that's where we see him gain his powers rather than your standard like he goes to the Oscorp and then gets bit by the radioactive spider. This spider has transported from wherever Doctor
Yeah.
Strange has come.
Strange is, yeah, whatever it is. And he's fighting some, looks like a symbiote too, because it had like Venom-esque sort of styling to the thing Strange was fighting.
Yeah, which I'm hoping is going to lead into the introduction to Venom into the MCU because that'd be sick. Because they hinted at
Makes
it
sense.
with the Tom Hardy Venom, but
Mm.
we yet to sort of see it. Because at the end of 2, there was actually a Eddie was watching the news, and then we actually saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man, and he was like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he did make reference to that Spider-Man. So
Okay. There you go.
it just is. It hasn't happened yet, so we'll see. And then number 3 was like they were introducing Noel Kroll. Can't remember exactly what his name is, but the symbiote king, the big bad.
In what? In Venom?
Yeah, remember
Right.
the last one we watched, The Last Dance?
No, I don't remember fuck all about the movie.
But yeah, so this one a little bit different. So Peter gets offered a internship at Norman Osborn's company, so Oscorp, and then as he is there, he gets unfolded that he has to do his internship, gets a introduction to, I want to say, Dr. Connor, who is portrayed by a female this time. So the lizard is actually Dr. Connor
Yeah.
is normally male, and he's
Yeah.
missing an arm, and he's trying to regrow the limb, but it's a female this time.
Yep.
So we're obviously going to get introduced to the lizard later on. There's so many cameos in this, but he has to go and save someone because there's an incident, and he's like, "Oh no, I have to leave." So he runs to the stairwells and shoots off. But Norman Osborn, he has his cameras on, which I was like, at the end of episode 2, you're like, "Yo, so you're Spider-Man." He actually gets found out, and I was like, "Oh, I actually wasn't expecting this."
No.
Because
But I like it because it means that, because one thing has always been like, with Spider-Man is how, like, yes, I know he's smart, but how's he make that fucking suit? Like, that suit is so well fitting and like well tailored. Like, now we've got like a reason behind. He's got his Edna. He's got someone who can make his clothing for him and make him fire retardant and all that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah,
I like it. I think it's really cool. He's got someone with money in his corner who can support the growth of Spider-Man. I think it makes sense.
yeah.
If it's not Iron Man, you know?
I'm also wondering where they're going to go with like the Green Goblin and stuff as well. Because
Yeah.
like, if he's already knows that, like, if Norman Osborn already knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man,
Yeah.
where's that relation?
I'd also be happy if
that's
they
going
just
to go?
don't do it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be happy if in this universe, Norman Osborn is just a good guy. Like, he's got money, he's greedy, he's got his flaws, but he's not a quote-unquote bad guy who's going to go out and destroy the world. Like, I'd be happy with that. I think it's against the grain a little bit, but we've already seen Green Goblin, and, you know, that's also would be too predictable.
True. Yeah, so like Peter's suit to begin with they're not running with the other version of Spider-Man where he has like actually internal webs. This is actually the web shooters.
Yeah.
And the web shooters are like, they has the cord that runs to them. It dissolves within an hour. It's pretty strong. I like it. He looks like, you know, just a thrown together kind of vigilante
Yeah,
superhero.
like in a jumpsuit.
And then once we get introduced to the secret being unfolded with Norman understanding it, and then he's like, I really laughed at all the different suit renditions. I actually wasn't
Yeah,
expecting
it was cool.
to see all the different suits. And like, first one has a cape and he gets caught in the cape. And like, we
Yeah,
haven't seen that before. We do see the white one, which I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that, which is, that was a alternative version. And I was like, that's kind of cool.
yeah, it was. I like that suit. That's cool.
Yeah. And there's like, obviously Peter Parker and Spider-Man are your main focus, but there's also a sub story which is our like Jock, which I was expecting him just to be your standard like conflict. Like, I'm trying to remember his name.
Lottie,
Lonnie Lincoln.
Lonnie, yeah, Lonnie.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Lonnie's like the all-star quarterback, but he's also academically gifted.
Yeah, yeah,
And he comes from a rough neighborhood and has to like train in, and he's like, you see him as this is the your all-star quarterback kind of guy. You're like, okay, he's going to be the bully, but
yeah.
him and Peter actually hit it off because he's like, yo, Peter, me and you, we're going to team up, we're going to smash this like science thing.
Science assignment. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, same.
I was expecting this to be your standard like Spider-Man. We've seen this story hundreds of times.
I just thought he was going to be, the fucking. He's the guy who's interested in the girl I like, you know.
But this is an interesting dynamic as well because he's actually really likable, and it has now. I don't know how many episodes you've seen, but I've seen
all 5.
Yeah, is there 6 out now?
No, only 5.
There's only 5.
Yep. 6 comes out on the 12th, Wednesday.
Okay, yep. So we've got Lonnie, who in his neighborhood, his brother is wrapped up with this gang. And then all of a sudden, Lonnie's trying to like get his brother out and goes to see him. But he unfortunately has dug a hole that he cannot get out. And he's now sort of linked in and is going to be hunted by none other than the Scorpion, who runs one of the gangs in the actual neighborhood. So we see like flashes of him. We actually haven't seen the full Scorpion rendition yet, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, that the Lonnie story, I'm a little bit like, I hope this ties in some way because I don't find it that interesting. It's just, it feels quite done. Like I've seen this story before, you know, the guy got caught up with a gang and now he gets manipulated, and it also causes me a level of anxiety I don't want to experience when I watch this sort of, you know, superhero stuff.
Yep.
Because, you know, the guys, superhero problems aren't real problems, so I can't connect and therefore I don't get the anxiety. But watching a guy who's being cornered into joining a gang, whose grades will suffer, whose future will suffer, who, you know, is ruining his life because of it, has no choice, that's stressful. And I don't want to watch this to be stressed. So I don't really like that side of it. But, I mean, the fact that that's making me care about this side character in a Spider-Man story. I mean, who the fuck's Lonnie? Is Lonnie even in the Spider-Man lore? I have no idea.
I don't know. I've never seen a Lonnie before. I've seen like Flash and stuff, but normally Lonnie's in a new one.
Yeah. And his, what's his, is it May? No, May's his auntie. Who's the girl? Blue hair one, his friend in this. She's cool.
That is Pearl, I believe. Or is Pearl the one he's interested in?
I thought Pearl's not interested in. I can't remember names.
I don't know. They're very side characters that you don't really ever see that much.
Yeah. She seems cool. I like her as well. I like that, I don't know, I just hope it doesn't go down the same road as like Sky High, where like my best friend is really the girl of my dreams, but the girl of my dreams isn't, you know?
No, I'm hoping we do get introduced to Gwen and also like Mary Jane as well at some point. Because the cameos in this are massive. Like the interns, I can't remember the other two, but I was like, oh, that's going to be Mr. Negative. So Chow is going to be
okay.
Mr.
I didn't get any of this, so please tell me.
So he's going to be Mr. Negative.
I don't know what that is.
So Mr. Negative do you remember the first Spider-Man game, the Insomnia Spider-Man? Did you play that one?
Maybe.
Well, he was like the main villain in that one. He's the one that can turn. He goes like full kind of. It's not Electro, but he's kind of like he has more similar electric kind of
Okay.
powers.
Sure thing.
If you just Google Mr. Negative, you'll see the
Yeah, looking up
little
now.
picture.
He looks familiar.
Yeah. So he's Mr. Negative. So
Yeah.
there's a few cameos in there.
That's cool.
Harry Osborn, we haven't really
Of
seen
course.
much, but I'm wondering if they're going to flesh out those two's like bromance, because normally they're like best friends. So
Yeah.
like, Norman feels indebted to Spider-Man because Spider-Man all of a sudden, well, swung down and saved Harry from being hit by a vehicle. So
Yep.
I'm curious.
Is there more? Are there other like interns and stuff? Are they any connection? I'm not sure yet.
I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember exactly who they were, but
Yeah,
but
that's
like
fair.
just from Oscorp, you've got Dr. Connor. She's going to turn into the lizard.
Hmm.
Mr. Negative is Chow, and yeah, I can't picture the other two.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't pick up the Mr. Negative part, but now that you mention it, it makes perfect sense.
So hopefully. I also like the Prowler. I wonder if they'll get the Prowler in this one as well.
Oh, I hope it's voiced by Gambino.
Well, I didn't see him on there.
Yeah, not yet.
No. The animation took me a little bit to get into as well. So like at the start, I was like,
It's fucking awesome.
yeah, I like it now. Like the first two episodes. The first one, I was like, oh, this is giving me
Really?
like, yeah.
Yeah, right. I found it really easy to fall into. I thought it was. It didn't feel. To me, it doesn't feel too comic-y. It feels like the cartoons, Spider-Man we used to watch and the Batman we used to watch and stuff. It reminds me of that sort of animation at times. That's sort of how my brain
Yeah.
recognized it. But then I like when they go and they do like the split screen and they go into like comic panels.
Yeah.
I think that's really clever. I keep talking about the fucking golden age of animation that we're in right now, and shit like this reminds me of course, Spider-Verse, where we're doing different stuff. We don't need to have super high quality 3D fucking real. Like, I like when we go the opposite direction from realism to try and make it stylistic, and that's what this has done really well.
Yeah. I also
I'm into it.
I also like that he's not like super like socially awkward. Like yes, he's awkward, but he's not like what's it like crippling like social anxiety or whatever. Like he can still navigate around it.
Cringy, yeah.
But he's just like a little bit out of his depths in like some realms. Like I like that. It makes him more personable rather than be like this is your cliche, whatever.
Well, it's good. Like we see when he's doing like a presentation to his class, like he's super smart and he knows his shit one-on-one, but his ability to talk in public still isn't there. And I like that. I like that his character's, still quite immature and needs to grow as a person and blah blah blah.
Yeah. I think they've captured him as Spider-Man like well as well. Like the wisecracks are quite reasonable. Like I was like, yeah, cool. That's pretty good.
I think something that they've done well for a while. I compare this to Spider-Verse. The music's great, really cool. I think they've done a really good job in finding music that, again, I think that Spider-Man, as much as I'm not a huge superhero character, it's one of my favorites because of how much he's embedded in the city he's in. Like Spider-Man wouldn't work in any other city. Like he is New York's superhero. And I think finding music that suits the sort of like melting pot of New York, and he's from Queens, which is, a bit up and down as well. And yeah, I think the music's really smart. I think it's well thought out rather than just here's a fucking needle drop. Here's an intense music song we found online. There's a bit more thought to it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm keen for it.
Yeah.
I am really, really enjoying it. Well, we saw the Pyro as well, and he's like,
yeah,
I haven't seen him in a rendition for quite some time.
I'm not sure I've seen him at all besides video games.
Yeah, like he's not a super big villain in there, but I wonder if we'll see like the Sinister Six or anything, because that could be pretty cool.
I like that we got Doc Ock, we got Dr. Octavius in this again, and he's got his own little plan. Like over the course of the series, we had no idea that he was the one sort of selling the tech that all the baddies were using. But now we know that, and I'm curious to see how they play him because I think his portrayal in in Spider-Man 2 is like, again, you and I referenced it so many times. He's like the perfectly written bad guy.
Yep.
It's hard to top that, so I'm curious to see what they do with him here.
Well, I think Thanos as well is like one of the perfectly written ones. Like, 'cause like you understand his motives, and like, you're like, you kind of side with him. Like, it sucks. Like, you can't sort of select who he like clicks his fingers and away they go. But you're kind of like, some people it might be better off not being here. But you know,
Yeah, it's hard for me to. I mean, I definitely know what you mean. I just haven't seen the Avengers films. So I can't really stand on that leg as much as I can with the.
They are worth it. Like that.
I know
that little segment of cinema is amazing.
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah,
it's just I need to commit to Sony movies. If I have to, there's all fucking Captain Americas and the Thors, and
you don't have to because it's based around the Avengers and them as a team versus that big bad overall villain. So you don't need all those lead-ins. It's nice because they make reference to a few things, but you don't need it as a whole. Like, you could just watch the Avengers and understand the context that they are. Like, if you went Avengers and then up to Ultron and then into your Infinity War and stuff, like
Endgame and that. Yeah,
like you'd understand that.
I know.
Yeah. So, what would you give Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, currently renamed Spider-Man for the year?
Who knows what it's called?
Do you want
I'm gonna like a 4. I think it's very good. It's still an animated superhero show. It's nothing. It's not breaking ground like Spider-Verse was. But it's very solid watch. I think a 4 is a very fair rating. 3.5, 4. It's very entertaining. I'm down.
Yep.
I'll watch more.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's at a 4. I want to see Black Cat. I do want to see Black Cat get introduced as well. I think Black Cat is also a really good grey villain because, like, sometimes she helps Spider-Man, sometimes she doesn't.
Right.
I think she's fantastic. She's also rumored that Black Cat is going to appear in Spider-Man 4, and
she's in the game, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's sick. I'm hoping it's Sydney Sweeney that plays Black Cat.
Of course you are.
Come on. I think many
like voice acted, or is in the show, in the movies.
In the movie, she can voice act too, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, I feel like it would suit as well.
Yeah.
Is she too old?
No.
You reckon?
Nope.
How old Black Cat meant to be?
Well, she doesn't come. She comes in later, like.
Okay.
In the Spider-Man, because her and Spider-Man have kind of like a bit of a romance, on and off romance, similar to how like Batman and Catwoman have a bit of a relationship as well.
Sure.
So yeah.
King. Don't care. Happy for it. She's fine.
Oh, cool. Then let's move on to our newest one, which is an Amazon Prime original streaming directly to you, so you can watch this right now.
Don't bother.
Because you're cordially invited to watch this film on Amazon Prime.
I'm what, invited?
Mm-hmm. You're, how do I say, something invited. Cordially invited.
Cordially.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Nice. Yeah, I did it.
Thank you. I can add my own sound effects.
Cordially, in a warm and friendly way. It's just, an invitation. You're cordially invited is what you put on like wedding invites.
Yeah. So, this is starring 2 well-known names. It is Will Ferrell playing Jim and Reese Witherspoon playing Margot.
Margot. Nope, it's not a name. It's not Margot Robbie.
There's a T at the end.
It's how Margot Robbie's name is spelled as well.
There's a T at the end.
Yes, that's how Margot is spelt.
Margot.
Margot. Yes, Reese Witherspoon. I love her to pieces. Hate this movie.
Yep. So when two weddings are double booked at the same venue, the father of one bride and the sister of the other bride try to preserve the wedding weekend. Boom, boom, boom. So this movie is majority a train wreck.
Yep.
I could not look away though. Like I was like, what in
Really?
the hell is this?
I
There
couldn't
were
watch.
there were moments where I actually laughed. I was like, oh my God, this is like it reminded me at points where Will Ferrell did not have a script and they just let him rant. They were just like
Oh yeah, that's
just
so much how they film Will Ferrell.
and they were just like let him go. And I was like, okay, that's not too bad. But the rest of the cast, my God,
Yep.
they were hard. So Jim, played by Will Ferrell, has a daughter named Jenny. She's getting married to Oliver, and he's a DJ, and they make so many young people. What are they called? Millennial? Is it millennial? Gen Z? Whatever it is. Jokes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, you guys need to stop. Like, there were moments where it was funny, but the majority of the time,
Not the 50th fucking time in 20 minutes. Yeah.
you missed the mark on majority of this. The only
Yeah.
time I actually found it quite funny, and the Heather, the bridesmaid, best woman,
Oh,
where
sure. When
so
we planned it.
yes, the only time that it actually hit was when Will Ferrell. We're jumping to the end here, but when Will Ferrell was trying to get onto the elevators to go see his daughter after the train wreck, that was the last, I don't know, hour and 20 minutes, and he's trying to press the elevator button. She's like, "Don't touch me," and she's like hitting his hand away, and she's like, I'm too young. I'm a minor." She's like, "You're 23."
Yeah. Maybe then you were just deliriously bored.
I don't know.
So it was funny.
That part I actually laughed, and then
Yeah, sure.
yeah, like,
That's all right. You're allowed to.
yeah, I thought that was quite funny. I was like,
Yeah, you're allowed to.
yeah, I was like, this is the only time you've made me laugh, Heather, in
Heather.
this entire film, because like she was meant to be your comic relief character. Like
Mhm.
she was meant to be the humorous, like ha ha ha, like it's carefree. I messed up. I don't have any responsibility here. I'm going to throw blame at everyone else. It's funny.
I laughed at her when when you first meet her and they're talking about how the planning didn't happen. And she's like, I get anxiety. Well, like making a phone call. I can send emails. I just can't make phone calls. I laughed at that.
Yeah,
That's pretty real. That's a pretty millennial fucking response.
that was pretty funny. Yeah, so Will has rang up, booked the venue for his daughter's wedding, but then as soon as he
The
hangs
whole
up,
island.
yeah, as soon as he hangs up, the person doing the booking dies, and then Reese Witherspoon, Margot, is
Yep, that's her
booking
name.
booking the wedding for her sister Neve, and it happens to be the same date because our very useless person in charge, Leslie, cannot see that there is already a booking in there because the pen didn't work. So it was just conveniently very hard
No, she
pressed.
died.
Yeah, she died, but she wrote because the pen didn't work, and then she went to go get a new pen, but she
And then
died.
she died. Yeah.
And you can see like there's someone's pressed really hard onto the page because it conveniently, as both parties arrive at the venue. Also, if you have to catch a boat over to this venue and you're shipping this many people over, is there a point where you're like, this is too many people? Like coming over, like they were.
I know. A lot of the whole setup for this pissed me off. Like, there's no way you'd go this far into a wedding planning without not confirming the booking, or they try to explain it away that she sends emails, but like, do they never reply to the emails? Is this business just not replying to emails ever? That was never really explained. But you're not wrong. Surely there's a point where you're like, I don't know these fucking people, and my partner doesn't either. Like, she goes, oh, he has a big family. Yeah, but he's not white.
No.
Like, and her family is all white. Anyway.
I don't know. There was so many times this movie did not follow their like continuity at all.
No.
So there's a moment where Margot is doing her speech, and then she's too drunk, and then they try and take the mic off her. She elbows Jenny in the eye, and then the next morning her eye is like a full inflamed black eye, and then they're like, "Oh my God, the makeup artist did such a good job." But none of the bloodshot or anything was there. I'm like,
No, no.
you can't put makeup on your eyeball.
Yeah, you can. Shut up.
It's like, well, we're up. It's like,
No, I know. But that's just easy.
yeah, because it was like they tried so hard at so many gags, and it was just like, well, okay, what are you doing? And it was
In the whole crocodile scene,
oh,
which, like, fuck me. It's so dumb.
where he's just wrestled a crocodile, and he's like,
And he's laying a bit with it, and he's like, it's dead. She's like, no, it's not. And then it gets up alive again for some reason at a convenient time and starts snapping around and bites her, and oh, chaos. Like, it's such fucking, like, do you remember Dane Cook, the comedian?
yes, I do.
Where his whole comedy was just loud equals funny.
Mhm.
That's what this fucking whole movie is. It's so American. It's so, like, just to try and make every joke as over the top and chaotic as possible, and therefore it's funnier.
Yep.
There's nothing about this there's no clever writing. There's no interesting characters. Everything's so fucking boring. And then they force the two characters in a relationship. Watching the whole movie, there was no part of me that wanted Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell's characters to get together. We didn't even feel like that was like where they were going with the story. And they throw them together and they're like, oh, every time I looked at you, he had a smile on his face. And they do this dumb montage of him smiling.
I laughed at that smiling montage.
Was probably at that point the funniest part. But by then, this is 2 fucking hours as well. This sort of dumb American romance comedy should not be 2 hours long. It's fucking insane.
And then they have that weird, they in a stream. What's that song? Lovers in a Stream or something?
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
And then they do it again at the end. It was funnier at the end than it was.
It's always that that curse of putting funny, like, blooper-esque moments in the credits in an unfunny movie, because it just makes you enjoy the credits more than the entire fucking movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It might have been because it was towards the end and I was a little bit over it. But when Dixon, they were doing the marriage proposal, like all out of nowhere. I know time had passed because we saw her have the baby and stuff, but the baby didn't look that old. Like, it would have been maybe a year and a half of time had passed.
Whatever, yeah.
And then Jim is already ready to propose, and then Dixon does the dance of like the strip dance to like.
Oh yeah.
She said yes, and I was like, okay, you've escalated this very quickly.
Yeah, that's what I mean by whole American comedy.
And then they tried to wrap this like story around Margot and Neve hating their mother, and the mother not having that conflict with the daughters. And then they're like, oh, because my grandmother was really nice to me. And then it was like, well, you never call either. Well, you didn't call. And they're like, oh, maybe we're both in the wrong. Oh, we made up.
Yeah, that didn't need to happen. That's what I mean by being 2 hours long. Like, there's so much stuff in this you could just take out that just felt like padding. They tried to, like, I think comedies now, because they're realizing that if you look at I saw this chart actually earlier today, pointing out all the different genres and how much interest has died for comedy over the last 10 years, whereas the interest for thrillers and horror has spiked. And I think because comedy is starting to die, people are trying to make comedies more like dramatic and make sure there's like a heartfelt moment and like a tearjerker and blah blah blah. So they're adding all this bullshit into comedies now to try and make them more accessible and more like not accessible, more entertaining or fit more genres. And that's what fucking brought this down. This was just a dumb Will Ferrell comedy. This was just like Step Brothers, but at the beginning I thought it was when him and his daughter were yelling at each other and like fighting, but like it just felt like Step Brothers. I was like, okay, this is Will Ferrell doing Will Ferrell things, but I'm here for it. But yeah, that's when it started getting dumb. Fucking cares about you? I don't care about you and your mum. Fuck off.
Yeah. Like her and even him and his daughter, I was like, it feels very forced. Like the whole thing felt forced. There were a couple of laughs here and there, but overall,
yeah,
this is very long.
When the tagline is literally "Save the date, prepare for chaos." I think that says a lot about what they were trying to do with this movie.
Yeah, and especially when you're like, the poster is him holding the crocodile. You knew this was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's annoying because I don't hate Nick Stoller, the writer director. He's done a few projects with Jason Segel, like the Muppets they did together. I think and like Sex Tape isn't bad. Like I think he's done some stuff that isn't horrible, but I don't know, just shit like this.
Yeah, he was a writer for Goosebumps as well.
Yeah, yeah. He did Yes Man, or he was one his screenplay for it anyway. Like he's done some okay things. I don't know. Maybe it was like a lot of influence from the producing team. Maybe Prime have more fucking fingers in the pie. I don't know, but he missed the mark on this.
Oh, massively. Oh well. Oh, well, at least it was straight to streaming service, and it wasn't like
The fucking pay for it.
a theater release. So, yeah,
So I had to fucking pay for it though. I'd rather spend $10 on an average movie than fucking 2 hours on a bad movie.
yeah. What would you
Two
give it?
fucking hours. How fucking dare you? 2 hours on garbage like this? Come on.
What would you give it then?
It's a 1.
I'm with you there. It had a couple of moments, but just it never got there.
Nah.
No.
Hot garbage. Boring. Waste of my time. I hated every moment.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Who's wrestling alligators in the background? Oh, he literally said the line, "See you later, alligator," when he threw it out the window. Come on. Low-hanging fruit. Jesus Christ.
That's probably the highest line in that film, though.
Ugh. Both of our shows this week start with your Friendlyhood Spider-Man and Friendlyhood Spider-Man, and you're cordially invited.
No, well, at least one of them was good. So
One was good.
yeah. Well, that's all we got time for you this evening.
Oh yeah.
We will be back next week as usual. We actually don't know what we're watching yet, so
Oh yeah, I haven't decided that. Whoops.
surprise for you guys too.
Supplies.
So if you like our little soundboard or you like some more soundboards, let us know. I can add more in. So how good?
I want to add that Hyperpotential is still fucking great.
Yeah.
I've watched all the episodes. I'm watching it as it comes out now weekly. The most recent one wasn't very entertaining. It had more to do with her sidekick, whatever his name is.
Okay.
And less to do with her solving mysteries with her crazy brain.
Yep.
But it's still a great show. Just want to throw that out there.
Keen. All right. You know what to do. If you listen on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. Listen on Apple Podcast, do the same. And if you want to share us on socials, do that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time.
Tell your friends.
Boys.
Love yous.